welcome back to Ben's Garage. We're in the garage. We've got BMW 1 Series in here. As you know, this is my dad's car. Took it for a Contrôle Technique, which is the equivalent of an MOT here in France. He came away with a critical failure. Oh, you bugger. We did have a bit of an inkling that this might be an issue. Now, if you was to take this to a garage to get it done, it would probably write off the car. The labour involved, and then obviously they'll put their markup on the parts, all that kind of thing. Rear subframe, corroded. Now, I've not filmed it all because I just wanted to get on. I had Dad here for a couple of days helping me get it off. And then we had a bit of a drama with brake pipes. I could not undo these ends without them snapping off. Now, these are original from 2005 metal brake pipes coated in plastic. And I don't know if you can see that at the end there. It all bubbles up. That's rust underneath the plastic coating. And the joints just seize up so that they just twist off. So you've all seen that. I don't know if I've released that now. The brake pipe flaring tool. I've made up the one that goes from this side across to the other side of the subframe. Just got a little short one to make up. Anyway, so we was waiting for some ends. We trailed all over bloody Saint-Hilaire shit during the week. There's three fairly decent sized auto pieces shops, which is just like a parts store. None of them had anything like that. Now, here in France, I don't know if it's like it in the UK now, but I mean, I am used to getting a roll of this stuff, getting some ends, flare some ends on it, and make your own pipes up. It now seems that the way forward is people buy pre-made brake pipes, which is probably easier, and then they just go in place of the original. So that is why I believe we couldn't find any brake pipe ends. These are M10 by 1, but the end, I don't know, I've got an old one here. I don't know if it'll focus on that. That's got a flat end on it, and it's like a bubble flare, and the bubble is like a 90 degree on the bottom, and it domes over. Now, there are some ends that are concave. Is it concave or convex? I can't remember, but they dish down, so you put a different flare on it so that you get like a double bubble, I suppose. So you got your flare sort of comes and sits into that. These are flat, so I had to get some of those to fit the original pipework on the car. Otherwise, I could have, if we was changing it all, we could have gone for different. Anyway, they turned up. I've made that bit of pipe. Now, yesterday I came out here and I was building up the new subframe, so we bolted the diff into it. The Hobbit was up here helping me because the subframe on its own is 22 kilos. When you start adding diffs, hubs, axles, we've gone for whole suspension kit. So it's all new arms with new bushes and everything. So the back end of this car will be, once you get its lined up, because these are multiple adjustments on the back of these cars. I'm assuming it's toe in, toe out, and then you can adjust the caster angle as well. Anyway, so yeah, we got it all built up yesterday, and we managed to, between us, lift it up so we could get the trolley jack underneath and a bit of wood under the diff, and we've got it all balanced. And then I said, should we just offer it up to the car? Because the plan was I was going to get it all built up, go and pick my dad up, and my dad was going to come and help me. But I got it all built up. I said to him, shall we just slide it under the car and see if we can get it jacked up and get the 4 bolts in? Because I will put up bits and pieces as I'm talking. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 arms on the back. No, yes. Yeah. Only one of those is sort of like a rose joint where you can tighten that up and the joint will still move. The rest are all like bushes, so you need to jack the suspension. Once you've got the subframe on the car, jack your suspension up so your control arms come up to normal ride height, then torque all those up. So that's what I've got now. I've got it jacked up. Where it comes to the adjustments, I've just punched a mark in the washer. They got like big concentric washers that you can turn and adjust, and it moves it one way or the other. I just punched a dot at the very top, vertical, so we can sort of put it back to where it was, and then he can take it for a wheel alignment. It'll be close enough, but obviously it wants doing because he'll be knocking tyres out left, right and centre if we don't get it done. So yeah, it's been a few days up in the garage. Yeah, that old subframe completely, absolutely knackered. It probably wouldn't have lasted much longer. As I was sort of undoing the bolts for the control arms, you could see the one side of the subframe kept twisting. So yeah, that would have collapsed at some point. So it was a critical failure. Normally, if it's just a major failure, you've got 2 months to fix it. I'm not sure how you stand when it's a critical failure. I'm pretty sure you can't drive the car, obviously to and from a place of repair. So Dad's drove it home, drove it here. We fitted the new subframe. He'll then drive it home and then straight to the CT station. None of this driving around for 2 months. It needs a test on it, and then they're good to go. And they need it this week because they've got an airport run at the end of the week. So I'm going to crack on. It's just fiddly bits now, like all the getting the handbrake cable back in, getting the handbrake shoes on, getting all the disc on, getting everything tightened up. Then I've got the prop shaft to put back on. Now I've got to disconnect the centre bearing on the prop shaft so that it can hang down, and then we can get the prop shaft up at the back. I didn't take that centre bearing off when it came off, but the subframe came out anyway. If there was more people here, when we was jacking it up, we could have sort of maybe guided the prop shaft up into place. But it's just drop a heat shield, 2 bolts, and that centre bearing will come down. We can then just bend the prop shaft, put the back onto the diff, and then put it back up again. And then the exhaust pipe on this car, stainless steel. It'll outlast the bloody car, and I was dreading it because if you've ever played about with exhaust pipes before, they can be a right bastard. One bolt on the front where you can just see the catalytic converter poke out the bottom there. You can just reach under. There's one bolt on a clamp, bit of spray to start with. 2 rubber mounts at the back, took them off, give it a bit of a wiggle, up and down, side to side, and it popped off. Bloody marvellous, all in one piece. Original for this car. So yeah, that probably will outlast the car. Anyway, I'm going to crack on, and I'll maybe finish this video off when we get the car out. So yeah, catch you in a bit.